Hey you guys, welcome back to another podcast. I appreciate you for being here. Make sure to give this video a like, a follow, and all that fun stuff so I can make sure to keep on putting out some good motivating videos when it comes to your health and fitness. And today's gonna be short, punchy, and a little bit uncomfortable for the people here who are having a hard time working on improving themselves. Now, I coach people who are 30, 40, and even upwards of 50 to 60 to help them get into the best shape of their lives, and I've been doing it for the last 5 to 6 years. And the one thing that I've learned when it comes to actually improving your life is that, I know, this is like said a lot, but you don't need more motivation. You just need a better plan, and you need to learn about how to work around yourself, because what I find a lot of the time is that people are self-sabotaging themselves as they're climbing up the mountain of feeling better and improving their life. It doesn't come back to, needing this new mystical kind of energy or anything like that. But like, if you've been beating yourself up for not being disciplined enough or for falling off track, this one's for you. So let's dive in. Motivation is not the motherfucking problem. Let me ask you something. Have you ever started a program feeling super motivated, like a workout plan? Like, this is it. I'm gonna make some gains. It feels fresh. It feels new. Why do you feel like you need to have something new all the time? Especially when it comes to working out, I feel like it's the best example, because the most basic plan can get you the best results, especially when you stick to it for a really long time. But people feel like they need to change up the plan every 6 to 12 weeks or every month because they're bored. But I think that comes down to you letting yourself get in the way of yourself actually sticking to something long-term, because you have commitment issues, you have a hard time letting your emotions get the best of you, and it's just like you just get in front of the way of yourself all the time, and you have a hard time sticking to things. And I think that's the big piece that I want you to challenge yourself with moving forward. Like, stop letting things get in the way, and stop allowing yourself to, feel like you need something new and fresh all the time, because I truly do not think that you need something new. I truly think that you simply just need to have a plan, and a plan that works, and just stick to it for a really long time without letting yourself, change it up, unless it's a good change. Like, unless your schedule's, super packed for some reason and it just gets like that and you need a change, then let's do it. But you shouldn't be changing it up 24/7. And I find that's where people sabotage themselves a lot. Like a lot. So only make good changes. Don't make the change where it's like a full 360. You're changing up the goals, you're changing up the plan, and you're doing all this crazy shit, because that's you don't need that. Your goals are probably really simple in life, right? You want to lose body fat, get healthier, build muscle. All it takes is really simple things to do that consistently for a long time. You don't need anything new. You just need to, I like to say this a lot, just get better at what you're already doing. That's simply it. Now, there are good plans and there are sustainable plans. Let's talk about the difference between a good plan and what actually works. A good plan might be training 6 days a week, eating clean every single meal, tracking macros perfectly, hitting 10K steps a day, no alcohol, no sugar, no fun. That might look like the blueprint for success. But if you got kids, if you got a job, stress, travel, hormones, zero spare time, that plan is setting you up to fail. A sustainable plan has minimums and maximums, not perfection. It lets you miss a workout without spiraling. It lets you cut down the workout. That's what I did today at the gym, man. I was like, man, I'm not really feeling like having an hour and a half long workout. So I'm gonna cut down my workout to 45 minutes today, because I don't have a lot of time this week. It has structure, not obsession. It's smart, not retarded. It works even when you're tired, busy, or unmotivated, because real progress doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from not quitting. And so you need to, for anybody who's 30, 40, 50, unless you're like a fucking superhuman, that you can't sustain a super crazy plan, and you probably get super enticed with those crazy workouts, 6 days a week. This is what who knows, Joe Schmo has been doing for the last while, and he got ripped for this movie, and you get super hooked on that kind of stuff. But like, you got to stop that, because like, there is a baseline for what you should be doing, and then there's like the max for what you should be doing. You gotta know what that is. And so here's why cookie cutter plans fail. Most people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are still trying to follow plans that 25-year-olds with no responsibilities follow. Meal prep all your food. Train 6 days a week, no flexibility, no balance. It's unrealistic and it's outdated. And worse, when it fails, you just blame yourself. And then you feel like shit because you're not getting results. So you have to start thinking about them. I like to really think about this. Like, what's the minimum amount of work that you can do while getting the most amount of results? And I've worked with dozens of clients who came to me thinking they were just bad at fitness, or like they just feel down on themselves. But when you actually build a plan around your lifestyle, your energy, your stress levels, you really start to see progress almost immediately, because you're just really putting in the most amount of work that you can with the minimum. So then you're getting the most quality work out of it, rather than doing a bunch of work with less quality. Now, the habits that you need to actually start building momentum are this. You don't need to go all in. You need to go, sorry, I messed it up. I am reading some notes. You don't need to go all in. You need to go always, this doesn't even make sense. You don't need to go all in. That doesn't even make sense. But anyways, it's not sexy, guys. All right, I'm just gonna say it like that. Like, habit building is not sexy at all, but it works. So here are a few key examples of like some good habits that you can start focusing on that actually get the ball rolling. Pre-deciding your meals for tomorrow, even if it's just lunch. Or pre-deciding your meals for the whole week. Like, that really helps out. You can just plan it in your notes app in your phone, and it doesn't need to be perfect. And then taking it a one step above that is like figuring out what portions for each ingredient for the meals that you're having that you need to eat relatively are. So then that way, when you go throughout your week, you know like what amount of food you should be eating each day. Now, I meal plan for all of my clients, and they know the exact ingredients for each meal that they're having. So like, it takes away all the thinking, and it just makes things way easier. But something that you can start with is just planning out your week of eating good, making sure that you have 30 to 40 grams of protein at each meal. Like, that's a solid like start, and you'll start to feel better. Your cravings are going to start to come down. It'll help you build muscle. It'll actually change how you go about your life. Yeah, it'll kind of change your hormones and stuff like that, but like, that is going to help you a lot. And the next one is setting a minimum workout commitment, like 2 times a week, not 5. And like, don't think that that's not good enough. It is so much better like to weight train even once a week or even twice a week, and you'll start to like actually start to see health improvements. It is much better to do that, like weight train effectively once or twice a week, rather than like stressing out about like not hitting 5 workouts or 6 workouts. And maybe try to like log one small win a day. Just like write it down or like journal it. Maybe it was just like a 30 or 45 minute workout that you got done today, and that's what you're fucking happy about. Like, that's what counts. And have go-to meals that actually have good nutrition in them, with like maybe like a little bit of good fats, some veg, and some protein, you know, and like, you're good to go. But like, these little anchors, they build momentum. Having shorter workouts that are effective, making sure that it works for your schedule, having go-to meals that work really well for you, planning out your week with food. This is what helps you build momentum and stay on track. And honestly, guys, like, without this stuff, I would not feel as good as I do day to day. Same with a lot of my clients who have kids, who have families, and anything like that. And even when I have kids, like, these are things that I will keep in my life to make sure that I'm good, because if I don't, like, I know for me mentally, I'll fall off track, and like, I wouldn't be able to operate in life without working out, making sure my eating's good and clean and healthy, and, you know, having balance, because without that, like, you're fucked. All right, next. What should a real plan actually include? So if we ditch all the unrealistic plans, what should your plan include? Here's what I build into every client's routine. A training structure that can flex around your schedule, meaning that you can move days around if needed. You can cut down the workouts, so then that way you save a little bit of time. Like, you don't need to stick to specific exercises. You can swap them out to similar ones. And I build in minimums like that to make sure that you never feel like a failure. And same goes with your eating as well. You know what I mean? like with your eating, some minimums could be like protein every meal, 30 to 40 grams, like literally 30 to 40 grams, like 3 to 4 meals a day. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, it doesn't mean you need to cut out like all the junk food and stuff like that. If you're gonna have a meal out and you go to a restaurant and maybe you have dessert and you know that you're going to do that, cut down on your carbs a little bit throughout the day. Like there are ways to make it easier for yourself. Some other things that I include are accountability that doesn't rely on shame. It relies on actually like critiquing your progress and like making sure you know the step moving forward that you need to take and actually committing to it. Progress tracking that isn't obsessive, and space to adjust because life happens. And that's it. Like you've probably spent years telling yourself you just need to try harder and try harder and try harder. You know, that if you could just get motivated enough, this time will be different. Like a lot of people feel like that, and I have felt like that many times in my life. But let me tell you the truth. The problem is never your motivation. The problem is always the system, the structure, the lack of a plan that works with your life instead of against it. Like for real. And this doesn't just go for your health and fitness. This goes for like literally everything in your life. So if this hit home for you and you're done with the start-stop cycle, that's exactly what I help people with. Shoot me a message on Instagram. Just type in the word plan, P-L-A-N. Shoot me that message and I will help you create a game plan that walks you through what's real, sustainable, and help you create a plan that actually fits your life and your goals. No pressure, like just full on clarity for what you need to do with your health and fitness to move the needle forward without feeling the restriction, the guilt, or just feeling like shit. Like that's it. All right. So if this helped you guys, make sure to drop a follow, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.